of accidents, and then the other talks about the risk factors, as to what causes these accidents. What's your take on the two reports? What do you make of them?
Okay, thank you, David, and greetings to Mr. Abakah. So looking at these two reports, the accident statistics says that for the year 2022, accidents increased. The number of road traffic accidents increased. That is for Kumasi. Let me consider Kumasi, and here is the KME and some surrounding districts like Asokwa, Kwadaso, Asokware, Mampon, and Ofori Krom. It is not the entire expanded Kumasi region. It is the KMA and then the surrounding districts. Accidents increased from 1,255 to 1,550. That is a 24% increase. And fatalities dropped. So even though the number of accidents increased, the number of people who were killed in Kumasi decreased. And this is also in accordance with what we recorded nationally. So that is with the number of accidents recorded. Looking at the risk factors, the study looked at 4 risk factors: speeding, seatbelts, helmet use, and child restraint use. And for Kumasi, excessive speeding, that is traveling above the recommended speed limit, was 33%. So that is it. So it is true that drivers are traveling beyond the posted speed limits, and it increases the risk of being involved and also the severity of the crashes.
Let's say how longer with the speed limits that we're talking about, because Mr. Abakah talked about the same thing. We'll talk about the helmet usage, the seatbelt usage, and of course, the child restraints and all that. But my question to you is this: we talk about people over speeding. Do we have speed limit signs to alert people that there's a speed limit allowed for this stretch, and people are going beyond it, or there are no signs, and so people are just doing anything at all?
David, I would say we don't have adequate signs in the city, and there is the need to place the recommended speed limit signs at the different sections of the roadway. But that notwithstanding, you see, the Road Traffic Act says that if you are traveling in a settlement area, you are supposed to travel at a maximum speed of 50 kilometers per hour. That is when you are within a settlement area. And I don't think here the law will say that there wasn't the posted speed limit. If you are in a settlement area, you have to travel at a maximum speed of 50 kilometers per hour. And then when you are in school zones, market areas, churches, that is 30 kilometers per hour. That is according to the Road Traffic Act 583. So that is on. But I think I agree that we don't have enough posted speed limit signs within the city.
And Dr. Abakah, elsewhere, people are not necessarily compelled to put on the helmets or the seatbelts or the child restraints. Bottom line is, they themselves appreciate the essence of these things because it protects their lives. How come here in Ghana, we are not making use of these, stuff, these products?
Okay, so David, looking at the seatbelt, right? If you are restrained, and in the case of a crash, it prevents you from being thrown out of the vehicle and then hitting some objects off the road and then killing yourself.
Unfortunately, so do we have Dr. Abakah on the line? Dr. Abakah?
Yes, David.
Yes, so yeah, go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you have about 45% chance of not dying. That is when you are belted. With the helmet, it protects your head from an injury. You can have a fracture with your leg and you can still survive. But if your head is damaged, you die, right? So it's very, very important that we put on this safety equipment. And for child restraint, it's very, very important because, you see, in the case of a crash, usually what we do here is that we sit the babies on our laps. But when there is a crash, you, the adult, you are fighting for your life. And so you will not even know where the child will be in the crash. And so it's important that we use the appropriate restraint to restrain them. And the Road Traffic Act is very clear on this. When it comes to seat belts, what it says is that for adults beyond 18 years, it is your responsibility to wear the seat belt. If there is a child between the ages of 5 to 18 in your vehicle, it is the responsibility of the driver to make sure that the child is properly restrained. And for a child less than 5 years, you have to use the appropriate seats to restrain the child. So these are very clear in our law. We spelled it. We have all the laws: helmet, seatbelt, speeding in our laws, and we just need to enforce them.
So if you look at the data that is available right now, where fatalities, has come down, although it's gone up for the youth between the age of 20 to 29, would you say that majority of them died as a result of the lack of these things? They were not in restraints, they were not in the protective gears?
Okay, so for the data which we discussed now, the Kumasi, what we seeing is that majority of the people who die are pedestrians and motorcyclists. And so these pedestrians are not affected by the seat belts or whatever. But the motorcyclists, it's clear that the rate of helmet use is low. From the service which we did, just 36% of motorcyclists are using helmets. And if you should go into the details, riders, you have 44%, and then the pillion riders or the motorcycle passengers, you just have 6% of them using seatbelt. So you are riding on your motorbike, you meet a friend or you take a friend there. Rider is wearing helmet, but the pillion rider is not. And these are things we need to check. Helmet wearing rate for motorcyclists is very low. And then if you are to do a detailed investigation into the number of motorcyclists, for instance, you realize that those who are being killed are the two-wheelers, right? You see, we have the Pragia, which is the rickshaw. You have the Aboboya, and then you have the two-wheelers. Those who are being killed are the two-wheelers. And the explanation is that because these vehicles are able to travel at very high speed, the two-wheelers, they travel at very high speed. In the case of a crash, the consequences are very high. But with the Pragia and then the Aboboya, usually they are not able to travel at very high speed. And so we have more of the two-wheelers dying in motorcycle crashes.
Well, listeners, in case you just joined us, this is Love in the Morning. And yesterday,